We had a game in Stark Vegas, Mississippi. Yeah, that's right. Mississippi State hosted Arizona State. They were ranked number 12, Chris, in the AP poll. What do you know? Mississippi State. Not anymore. Other votes receiving, you go, buddy. Mississippi State wins this ball game 24-20. Late game, 30 seconds left on the clock, Chris. And this is right after Arizona State ties it up with Mississippi State. Well, no, it was at that point it was 20-17. They get that late Arizona game State. Field goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Arizona State gets that late game field goal. You're thinking that Arizona State is going to find a way to win this ball game, stall out Mississippi State like they did for most of the second half. Did not happen. Thanks to Blake Shapen's late game touchdown to Brendan Thompson. It was like 54-yard touchdown to seal the deal for the Bulldogs. My gosh, Chris. We've seen what Mississippi State has looked like these last couple of years. It has not been pretty. You know, you lose Mike Leach a couple years back. You have to play a whole bowl game against Illinois without him being on the sideline. They find a way to win that ball game in epic would be Mike Leach fashion. And after that, you hire Zach Arnett from the defensive coordinator to the head coach. That does not work out. He ends up going to Ole Miss to become an analyst. And from there to last year, you just pretty much just give up each and every week. You're not the same team as you once were. People don't fear coming to Starkville as much as they used to. And man, me and you would hear it a lot, Chris. From the people down there in Starkville and just Mississippi in general that were Mississippi State fans. That feeling just wasn't there anymore. You didn't get those. You didn't get that style of Mississippi State football where, they're going to play hard, win, lose, or draw for 60 minutes. And, a lot of people started feeling, really, I guess what's the good word you can say? Just tired of it all. People were fatigued with being dead last in the SEC. And then you have a game like this. Granted, it's not in the SEC. This is a non-conference foe in Arizona State. But this is a team that just won the Big 12 last season. And still has high hopes for potentially winning it again. You beat them in Starkville, and you see the fans rushing the field, and for me, Chris, I had to kind of think about it. I was like, we were always taught that, hey, in big games we don't rush the field, because if we know we're gonna win the ball game, we're gonna win the ball game. That when I saw the fans rush the field, I thought to myself about that, and I was like, you know what? For everything that has happened with this school, with this ball club, you know what? Let the fans rush the field. It was almost like a therapeutic moment, and hopefully, if you're a Mississippi State fan watching the show, welcome, of course. You probably felt it, especially if you did rush the field. For those folks, this was a happy moment for them. And I know that the team was also happy. Jeff Lebby was also happy. And I think this game right here was definitely a moment that you could look at, be excited about and build off on. Like, these are the kinds of games that teams like a Mississippi State can build off on and become very dangerous teams in your league. In this case, in the SEC, they could definitely make some moves this year after this. So overall, Chris, I was pleased with what I saw. It wasn't easy, but hey, you when you get a win, you take those wins, and I'm sure Jeff Lebby probably said that as well. So, what were your thoughts about this big win, Chris? I know that was long-winded, but I just had to get that out of my chest.
It's the signature win of Lebby's tenure. It's the win that the program needed, desperately needed, for the reasons you mentioned. Just everything that's taken place over the last couple of years. I mean, you were a 2-win team in last season, 0 SEC wins. It was a rough year. It's a rough year, and this was a ball game you needed to win, especially with how the game played out. We've seen this movie so many times where Mississippi State just tricks the game off, or you should have won a game. We look back like, man, we should have won that one. And this was about to be another one of those where we look back and was like, man, they should have won that one. And unlike in Mississippi State, not the normal Mississippi State fashion, you found a way to win it. Brennan Thompson making a huge play, a play that goes down in Mississippi State football lore. Just that catch and run. And now you have something that you can really sell to recruits, and you can really build on this to continue to build the program back to where it was and potentially even higher heights. So, there's definitely some things to still fix. I think this is concerning, that offensive line play, the run blocking. Can't run between the tackles. It ain't working. State's not to run to the outside, because in between the tackles, they just can't get no push. If you're not getting push against Arizona State, you ain't going to get no push against Tennessee, Texas A&M, and others in the SEC. So I think we'll see a little bit of a philosophy change. I think Jeff Lebby is a smart guy. And I think we'll see State continue to implement more of the short passing game and some outside running. And with those outside runs in the short passing game, we'll try to look to get the deep bombs that you love to get out of the veer and shoot, which did take place. Despite the struggles with the run game, State was able to get those explosives when needed. And so I think we'll see just a little bit of that continue to change philosophy-wise. But outside of that, man, this was huge. Huge. This could potentially be going back some years, but it's like that win that a Kentucky got against an LSU, where you have recruits in early in the season, and Kentucky in 2007, of all years, found a way to beat LSU in OT, and you storm the field and everything. And that was a much better Kentucky team on paper than Mississippi State is right now, because Kentucky was ranked. But this is one of those games that you need a win like this, because we talked about it off the air. A lot of talent in Mississippi is not going to Mississippi schools anymore. And you need to give these guys a reason to stay in state. And so State, getting a win like that, you rattle off some big SEC wins this season, go to a bowl, possibly win a bowl game. Now you have something to really to sell the program and be able to keep some of these highly touted guys in state like we used to, because that has not been the case anymore. So big win for Jeff Lebby and the Bulldogs. Curious to see if they can clean some things up the next couple of weeks, because you welcome Tennessee to town, and that will be very interesting to see. Mississippi State against Tennessee, because they are both two teams that run similar offenses with similar their principles, Kory.
Absolutely. I think that game very much interests me now more than ever, Chris. Seeing both Josh Heupel and Jeff Lebby, both guys that run this veer and shoot offense. It's like definitely a different version, or more of a high octane version of the air raid, just mixed in with a little bit more of some RPOs, play action, and with a lot more on the ground runs than your Mike Leach's air raid. This could be an interesting ball game. So the next 2 weeks that we know, Chris, Mississippi State has Alcorn State and Northern Illinois. If they can handle both of these teams,
you don't want to look. You don't want to look past NIU either.
You don't want to look past. Yes. No, Notre Dame knows all about that. Hey, Louisville almost knew all about it as well this week.
It's really right, and it's really a good team to play before you play Tennessee to make sure you got your stuff together.
Exactly.
Before you play Tennessee.
Exactly.
They'll challenge you.
Right. Agreed, man. So yeah, I'm sure, and it's kind of like what you said, Chris. There's still some things that this Mississippi State squad needs to do to get better. Of course, running in between the tackles. Like, look, you got two teams like that back to back at home. You can definitely delve deeper in your depth chart and get some guys in with some quality reps, and to work on getting better in between the tackles. Of course, I think having Fluff Bothwell and Booth, those two they're going to be really, really good running backs this season in the SEC. I think people do not need to sleep on their 1-2 punch combination. They complement each other very well. So, you get some things right, and you start to delve deeper in excelling in the run game as well as the passing game, and continue on with finding guys to make more plays on defense. And shout out to Coleman Hustler. he drew up a perfect game plan, or near perfect game plan, game plan to slow down Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson, because I came into that game kind of thinking like, hey, look, Jordan Tyson is one of the best wide receivers in the nation. You're not going to fully slow him down, but if you could try to slow him down, I'd probably say 75 to 80% of the game, I think you'll be fine. And they did that. So hats off to Mississippi State, Chris. Our school finally is breathing some new life. They need that. And we'll see what the Bulldogs have in store for us for the rest of the season. I'm intrigued now. It's good to see when Mississippi State is good in the SEC. That lets you know you have a really good, strong SEC conference. And my last thing, yes sir. My last thing I'll say about Arizona State. Nothing to hold your head over in this game. You got everything to play for in a very competitive Big 12 conference. So they got a lot of big games coming up their way this season. And if you're Kenny Dillingham, this is a good check moment for your Sun Devil squad.
Yeah. No, it's we mentioned NIU and how they did Notre Dame last year. Notre Dame took that L and figured things out going forward. So Arizona State can do the same thing with this game and see if they can right their wrongs in conference play. So
yeah. I think Chris just went out for a moment. Can you hear me, Chris? I think you went out. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
But yeah, we definitely have quite the season ahead of us.
Yeah. Indeed. So, still a lot to play for if you're Arizona State, indeed. And if you're Mississippi State, you take the wins whenever you can get them to improve for the future. So, we'll definitely see what happens with both of these squads coming up this season, Chris.